Welcome back to Beemaster 79. Today we are looking at two English patterns that fluent speakers use constantly and that learners very often get wrong. There's no point in doing something, and it's worth doing something. By the end of this lesson you will know the exact form of each pattern, what they really mean, how to make them stronger or weaker, and how to use them naturally in the IELTS speaking and writing tests. Here is the plan. We start with the form of each pattern, then the meaning so you know which one to choose, then the variations that let you turn the strength up or down, then the mistakes learners make most often, then how to use both patterns in IELTS speaking and in writing task 2, and we finish with 5 practice questions and the answers. One honesty note before we begin. Every example sentence in this lesson was written for this video. They are there to illustrate the grammar. They are not quotations from real IELTS tests, and they are not real candidate answers. Pattern 1. There is no point, then optionally the word in, then a verb in the ing form. Listen to both versions.
There's no point in worrying. There's no point worrying.
Both of those are correct. In modern English the word in is optional here, and fluent speakers drop it all the time. What is not optional is the ing form. Whatever you do, the verb after point must end in ing. So what does it actually mean? It means that doing this thing will not produce a useful result, so do not bother. Notice that it judges usefulness. It does not judge right and wrong. If you say there's no point in complaining, you are not saying that complaining is wrong. You are saying it will not change anything. That makes it perfect for 2 situations. Giving advice.
There's no point in rushing. We have plenty of time.
And disagreeing politely just before you offer a better idea. And the past tense works exactly the same way.
There was no point in arguing, so I just agreed.
Now the variations, because you rarely want the same strength every time. The strongest version is there's no point in complaining. Soften it and you get there's little point in complaining, or there's not much point in complaining. Both of those leave a small door open. Then the question form, and this one catches people out. When you ask the question, the preposition changes. It is what's the point of complaining with of not within.
What's the point of saving money if you never spend it?
You can also make it personal with I don't see the point in moving again. And if you need to say who the action belongs to, put a pronoun in front of the ing form.
There's no point in me applying again.
Let's hear 5 sentences. Listen to the rhythm and notice that every single verb after point ends in ing.
There's no point in worrying about things you can't control. There's no point buying a car if you live in the city centre. There was no point in arguing, so I just agreed. There's little point in learning words you will never use. What's the point of saving money if you never spend it?
Now the error clinic. 4 mistakes, and they are extremely common. Number 1. There's no point to argue. Wrong. Never use to plus the infinitive here. The correct version is there's no point in arguing. Number 2. There's no point of arguing. Also wrong in a statement. That word of belongs to the question form only. What's the point of arguing? Number 3. There's no point in argue. Wrong because the verb has to carry the ing. And number 4, a word-for-word translation you sometimes see. It hasn't point to argue. That is not English at all. Say there's no point in arguing. Pattern 2. It's worth. Then straight into a verb in the ing form. And this is the key point. Nothing at all goes between worth and the verb. No to, know of, nothing.
It's worth visiting.
You can also put a real subject at the front instead of it.
The museum is worth visiting.
What does it mean? It means the result is good enough to justify the time, the money, or the effort. Now here is a subtle point that matters. When you say the museum is worth visiting, you mean the museum deserves to be visited. So the ing form looks active, but the meaning is passive. Because of that, you do not need and should not use worth being visited. Just say worth visiting. This pattern is perfect for recommendations and for tips. And it can take a noun instead of a verb.
It's worth a try. It's worth it.
Same idea with the variations. The strongest everyday version is well worth. Note that carefully. English speakers say well worth, not very worth.
It's well worth booking early.
A step down and you get it's definitely worth trying again. Then plain it's worth trying again. Go the other way and you can weaken it with hardly.
It's hardly worth cooking for one person.
Make it fully negative with it's not worth paying extra. And the question form is beautifully simple.
Is it worth taking the test again?
Five more sentences. Again, listen for the ing form landing immediately after worth, with nothing in between.
It's worth learning 10 new words every day. The old town is well worth visiting if you have a free afternoon. It's not worth paying extra for next day delivery. Is it worth taking the test again? It's worth remembering that examiners reward natural language.
Error clinic number 2. Mistake 1. It's worth to visit. Wrong. There is no to after worth, ever. Say it's worth visiting. Mistake 2. It's worth of visiting. Also wrong. There is no of either. Mistake 3. It's worthy visiting. Worthy is a completely different word. It is more formal, and it needs of after it. Worthy of praise. Worthy of attention. So do not use worthy here. And mistake 4, the clever one. The museum is worth to be visited. You can see the logic because the meaning is passive, but English does not do that. Say the museum is worth visiting. Now let's put the two patterns together because they sit on one scale. At the far left, there's no point in doing it. Do not bother. A step along, there's little point in doing it. Then it's hardly worth doing. Then plain it's worth doing. And at the far right, it's well worth doing. Definitely do it. If you can move up and down this line in a conversation, you sound far more precise and far more natural. Here they are side by side. On the left, there's no point where the word in is optional. On the right, it's worth, where nothing at all goes in between. On the left, the meaning is do not bother. On the right, do bother. It pays off. In the question, the left-hand pattern switches to off. What's the point of doing this? The right-hand pattern stays simple. Is it worth doing this? And the rule that ties them together. The one thing you must never forget is that both patterns are followed by the ing form. Always. So where do you actually use these? Start with speaking. Both patterns are natural spoken English, which is exactly what Part 3 opinion answers need. Use there's no point in to reject an idea politely and then offer a better one. And use it's well worth to recommend a place or an experience in Part 2. Here is a short sample answer written for this lesson, not taken from a real candidate.
Personally, I don't think there's much point in banning cars from the city centre straight away. It's well worth improving the buses first and then seeing what happens.
Notice how the two patterns work as a pair. First the door closes, then a better door opens. Now writing task 2, and here we need a warning. There's no point in this slightly informal for an academic essay. It is not wrong, but use it sparingly. Here are high register versions. Instead of there's no point in banning it, write there is little value in banning it. or it would be futile to do this. Instead of it's worth doing this, write it is worthwhile to do this, or this option is worth considering, and learn this last one properly because it is genuinely useful in almost every essay. It is worth noting that use it to add an important detail that supports your argument. Time to practice. 5 questions. Pause the video now and write your answers down before you carry on. Question 1. There's no point in blank. Argue with him. Question 2. The gallery is well worth blank. Visit. Question 3. What's the point blank saving money if you never spend it? Question 4. It's not worth blank pay extra for next day delivery. And question 5. It is worth blank. Note that both patterns take the ing form. Pause now. Here are the answers. 1. Arguing. Remember, no to after point. 2. Visiting. Nothing sits between worth and the verb. 3. Of. This is the question form, so it takes of, not in. 4. Paying. Not worth plus the ing form. And 5. Noting. It is worth noting that. Learn that phrase by heart because you will use it constantly in writing. Let's recap. 6 things. 1. There's no point, then optionally in, then the ing form. 2. It's worth, then the ing form with nothing in between. 3. Never use to after point or after worth. 4. The question form takes of. What's the point of doing that? 5. Strengthen with well worth, and weaken with little point or hardly worth. And 6. For writing task 2, prefer it is worth noting that, and there is little value in. That is the whole lesson. Here is your homework. Write 1 sentence with there's no point in and 1 sentence with it's well worth and put them in the comments. I read them. If this helped you, subscribe to BeamMaster79 for more IELTS and English grammar lessons. Thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next one.